All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, September 9th, 2024. If not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets today with a gap up, and we've pretty much held the gains for the most part here. We even gapped up on the futures, which I generally don't like, but we get up on the futures and we're holding, we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. So I don't really love that futures gap. A lot of the time they like to go back down there for that. But right now we're above, and you can see I just had it on there, but we're above this little pivot from Friday in the overnight. And we crashed through there pretty much after the NFP little rally. And then look at that, we went and back tested to it. Off that Waller news, that was essentially him talking about like 50 basis points, etc. But it looks like we're going to close above that right now. So market's in a little bit better of a position. And if we look at SPX, which is what I do my work on, you can see basically just an inside day here. So inside day, and again, right now, I would assume, this is just how I would look at it. I would assume that the bears can fade anything they can turn this into a lower high. Until we can really reclaim 5,500 on a closing basis. Better yet, above Friday's high of 55.22 would be even better. But right now, this is just a relief bounce, and we'll leave it at that. So we did break support, obviously. We closed well below it on Friday. I was looking for us to kind of go down and possibly test 53.40 to 53.25, and that still could be the case. We could put in a couple inside days here, set up a bear flag, and go down there for that. But right now, I'm just looking level to level. So we were kind of looking for this thesis to play out. One more push up before some consolidation and perhaps some type of a dip into, after September OPEX. But that's kind of obviously not played out as per last week. So right now we just play it level to level here until the market gives us a little bit more of an inclination. But I do think if we were to go down into this level here, we would find some pretty good daily chart support. You prefer that to happen. For me, if I was going to play that long, I would have preferred to have seen that today, like more of a sell, and then maybe like a turnaround Tuesday type event into tomorrow, maybe a gap down into that, maybe 5,300 on overshoot, right? But market has held up today. We got a gap. We tried to break the lows. It looked like we were going to roll over. Didn't quite get down to 54.25, which is what I was looking for us to get to, at least for target one on a rollover. But markets are holding up, and we're right above that pivot there. So market's about to close here in 5 seconds. So nice pop there for the market in the close. And again, we'll just be neutral here until proven otherwise. There's the bell, and again, I'm watching for 5,500 tomorrow. That may get tested. There was a lot of ODTE GEX there today. And I bet there will be tomorrow unless we get some sort of gap down into the overnight. So again, markets here with a bounce, and we'll just call it even there. Triple Qs here, we're up 1.3%, but not the greatest looking. We almost went red here today. There was a put wall at 450 that did hold, so they were able to hold that by the end of the day. And semis did close near the highs of the day. In fact, there's Nvidia there. You can see Apple with the Apple event. All sorts of volatility that always happens every time they do that stuff. But overall closed basically flat. Looks like it was up like a few pennies or something like that. But I would have preferred a little bit more strength in the Qs. Granted, like they technically did close up more than the spiders, but on a relative basis, they had a pretty good dip early. So it wasn't really strength all day long. In fact, the Dow on an intraday basis, as far as the structure, yes, it was only up 1.13, but it just had the pattern is a lot stronger, right? We came off the highs here, but look at how high of a higher low you have compared to the spiders and the Qs. And again, defensive still pretty strong right now, right? XLV, XLP, XLU still acting very well here. The Russell 2000 very weak on the day. It was strong early, right? So again, if we look here, you go back here, you can see it had a nice rally this morning. It pulled back and had a higher low, whereas the spiders and the Qs had lower lows. So it outperformed in the middle of the day, and then it kind of rolled over towards the end. So again, a little bit of a mixed bag. We'll leave it at that for now. Pretty good heat map though. Oracle, Google, UNH, Merck, kind of the weak links. Over 400, 419 advancers. So overall, not a terrible tape, but no real technical level has been really reclaimed except for that 5470 area, which was that the pivot high. Or there's the 60 and then 70 right there. That pivot high. The big one is still 55 right now, though. So again, we'll call it even there. Again, Hughes inside day. We did hit the 618 essentially on Friday. So basically, not to the letter of the law, but we kissed it, and we're getting a bounce again. 460. That's the big level there. There's actually another, even before 460 is a level at 458 right there. Those pivot lows from Wednesday, Thursday. So watching those areas there, those are areas of interest. IWM, again, the 210 level, 210.50. Backed off of that today. We'll see if it can try again tomorrow. Dow still pretty strong, closing back above the 20 DMA. Semiconductors up 2.25. Again, we talked about the 200 moving average. I mentioned this like a week ago. I said, if this comes down, watch it. Maybe it puts in a higher low here at the 200 DMA, right? These things happen all the time where you hit the 200 once. A lot of the time, the market likes to go back for it again. So be aware of that. Your head and shoulder necklines down here. If we start going down into that, I would not try to short it. Let's say we start going down like here, like with no bounces. This is, it's going to get oversold, right? So that would be like a trap setup to me. You're going to be daily RSI oversold into that neckline. Every asshat is going to go short there. And it's not going to be a high percentage setup. So I would want to see down move, then a bounce or a bear flag or something like that. But again, I'm very skeptical of this playing out, to say the least. That doesn't mean the market can't go lower, but you need to see more. This chart's been posted all over the internet. Same one on NVIDIA, right? Qs, right? You can see it right here. So I never like these head and shoulders when they're that obvious. All right, IGV here holding up nicely, up 1.25. Good day. So that still remains a strong sector. And yeah, it's hanging on okay. I don't really have any problems with it. Transport's good bounce. They needed that. We effectively, looks like we basically filled the gap there and it got a bid. So we'll see what kind of pattern this puts in, but I'm still just going to call this one neutral for now. Interest rates today getting another bounce, but not much to really go off of here. 2-year spiked the low. Friday closed below it actually, and today a little bit of a dead cat. 5s, flat to positive, 10s and 30s flat to negative. So the yield curve kind of backed off a little bit. 3-month 10-year did uptick a little bit though. But again, I like this setup here for a possible long, but I do not have a buy signal on yields right now. Just so everybody's aware. Like, oh, Aaron said yields are going to go higher. I said they had the setup to potentially trigger, but I'm not necessarily like playing it yet. XHB up 22 cents. Could make a case you got a little kind of minor bear flag there, but again, home builders are really strong. Still have an uptrend here. VNQ still really strong, up 1.12. You guys know nothing's changed there. That continues to be a powerhouse. XLF, good bounce. I was kind of hoping this would drop a little bit more today. I was hoping a lot of things would. I like this setup on Berkshire here at 450. That can still get there. It actually faded off the highs. I like that at around 450 there if it can get there, just for a quick bid. But Finn's still hanging in there. KRE was nicely green at 43 cents. KBE was green, and broker dealers were pretty strong, although they came off the highs. So banks still hanging in there fine. Let's deviate here. Another sector that was in the news, marijuana stocks. I talked about this. I talk about these every now and then. And MSOS up 73 cents today. That's a big gain, over 11%. And what I like about it is this is on news. So Trump, I tried telling people this. Which I don't understand. Remember like 2 months ago when the Trump trade was on, right? And marijuana stocks sold off really hard on that. I said, that's kind of stupid. These algos are not, they need to be updated because Trump is not anti-pot at all. And he's been saying a lot of stuff like that lately. It's a tailwind. You got Democrats it's bipartisan at this point. And that Florida vote's coming up. So I think there's a potential here for some fireworks here going to the election. If nothing else, short covering because it's such a heavily shorted sector. And what I like is that we didn't fade, right? A lot of the times when pot stocks gap up, it's just sell the rip, right? And they held up all day and made higher highs. So I'll be watching these for legs over the next couple of days. Trulieve is kind of one of the leaders. Not a bad looking day there. And it did so on an uptick in volume. So we're keeping an eye on this sector here moving forward as we get closer to the election. All right, so we got to fins. Let's get to oil here. So oil up $1. It never quite got to my level. It got a bounce here. I'm not touching it right now. I have no trade on this. I just don't have enough to go off of. It got a bounce. I don't have any bias here. The trend is down though on the daily. XLE up 62 cents, 72 basis points. It's kind of holding a pseudo double bottom. Again, I'm not touching this. XOP trying to get to double bottom, and OIH fractionally higher, like basically flat. I want to see where that closes the month though, which we have a lot of time. CCJ up 8 cents, no changes there. Kind of looks just like XOP and OIH, doesn't it? URNJ, or sorry, let's do NM first. NM, same thing. Double bottom, little micro double bottom and a bounce. NJ, I like the least. So careful with that. Nat Gas was all over the map. It had a good bounce early and then came back in. They gapped it down Sunday night. That is so typical of Nat Gas. You know, there's a hurricane coming in. It's going to hit Texas soon. Sorry, it's a tropical storm, which everyone knows is the most bearish thing for Nat Gas of all time. I'm being sarcastic, obviously, but kind of not. But Nat Gas down 5.8. Oil didn't move either, so you know, if it strengthens, it strengthens. I think it's to a tropical storm now, but it's so close to shore. I mean, it's probably not going to do a ton. But anyway, actually, sorry, I think it's going to hit Louisiana. Close enough. All right, dollar at 42 cents, so a nice pop. Again, higher low there, and if that can make a higher high, you know, then it can start working its way back, right? But you got to get through 102 to 102.20, we'll call it. Then you got 103 after that. So let's just put this, and you know, just put this in here. So right in this area, there's some reason. I'm just going to say 102.50. Here, we'll put it at the gap, the old gap there, just so it's lined up better. All right, so right in that area, dollar can bounce. I'll cover the dollar yen since it bounced today too. We're in the double bottom. All right, gold here again, no problems. It never has had one in quite a while anyway. Silver, good bounce up 1.76%. I still think that's doing some backing and filling. Platinum finally got above that attempted breakdown candle. So good recovery, you know, good bounce there. And palladium, which had a pretty soft day on Friday, reversed that. So these are acting a little bit better. Decent bounce. And then we got copper here again, still kind of bear flagging though. This is starting to set up a possible bear flag, and unless we can close above this high, so let's say 423. You close above 423, that negates that. So I'm neutral on this, but that's the level. Bitcoin had a nice day today. So it started off pretty pedestrian. We bounced over the weekend, started pretty pedestrian. Here's 1030. We put in a low, and then all of a sudden we just took off. Flag, and then another advance. So Bitcoin acting really well. And I would like to see it close the day above 57.46, spot 76. We're sitting right below that right now. If we can close above that red, that'd be nice. And then you can go to, you know, 58.3, 58.4. Possible higher low here. Now watch this. So this is something you want to watch for when you have a channel or a trend line. Let me just Just gonna pick a different Bitcoin chart just so I can get rid of the lines. So watch. So low, lower low, lower low, and then high, lower high, right? All this, you get the idea. Right. So if obviously this tried to be a higher low, it failed. This tried to be a higher low, it failed. But if this could come up and take out this level here, you have a change in character, right? You're no longer making, right? This is now a higher low. I did a whole video on trend lines like a few months back. And if you just, again, I'm just like loosely drawing this. It's not perfect, but how do you know when a trend line is getting ready to break? It's when you see that, right? That higher low effect there. So if you just go back to this one, yeah, no, so I draw the trend line in there. It's not perfect, it's a channel, but how do you know that like this line is going to break as opposed to, you know, failing on all these other tries? When you see that higher low start to confirm, right? But if it comes up and then gets faded again, you know, it can just be that. But we hit like 22 on fear, greed, and crypto, which is hilarious because it's not even at anywhere near a 52-week low. But tells you the state of the market. So I think Bitcoin's hanging in there good, and nice rally today. We'll leave it there. All right, so again, stocks today, good bounce. I like that it closed about 54.70. So that was the pivot from this morning. That's nice. Still got a lot of work to do. I'm just going to call 55 the line in the sand for now. Back above that could repair the chart a little bit. And then we can talk about, you know, like 55.70, you know, 5600 area. But for now, again, you just be a little neutral. Just go on level to level until either side proves it. I'm going to assume right now, because the bears have control in the hourly, you know, for the most part here. We kind of stalled out. In fact, here's a good, while we're at this. So here's a trend line here, right? Lower high, lower high, lower low. If this ends up being a higher low and we go up there again, we can break that. Right, so just, that's kind of that same example I was just showing you, just in a way shorter, you know, way smaller time frame and whatnot. But just food for thought there. But that's clearly the big level right now in the near term, and assume the bears can come in and just whack this back down until proven otherwise. So I'm going to give the bears the benefit of the doubt. It's September. They've got seasonality on their side, but they can, you know, bulls can repair it with a break back above here in the near term. So anyways, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.